Did you know you can catch an overnight ferry between South Korea and Japan for about $60? It's an affordable, fun and easy way to visit both countries in a single trip. I tried one of the cheapest dorm rooms on the Camellia line, and in this video you'll see just what it's like, along with a peek at the nicer rooms if you've got a bit more to spend. Note that some crossings and operators may not be available when you travel, so be sure to check their websites for the latest information. There's a link below. The route connects Busan in South Korea to Hakata in Fukuoka, Japan. From there you can grab a high-speed Shinkansen bullet train northeast to Hiroshima, Osaka, Kyoto or Tokyo, allowing you to cover some of Japan's most popular destinations without doubling back on yourself. Now in the past there were two ferry operators. The JR Kyushu Beetle ferry was the fastest, taking under 4 hours, but at the time I made this video the service had been suspended and may no longer be available. Their second, and likely only option for now, is the overnight ferry operated by Camellia. There's typically one sailing a day, boarding at 8 PM in Busan, departing at 10:30 PM and arriving in Hakata, Japan around 7:30 in the morning, so that's a total journey time of about 12 hours. Again, the schedule can vary, so do check before attempting to travel. If you're travelling in the opposite direction from Japan to South Korea, it's a daytime cruise. Boarding starts in Hakata, Japan at 11 AM, the ship departs at 12:30 PM and arrives in Busan, South Korea at 6:30 PM. The ship itself is the new Camellia, 170 metres in length and capable of transporting 522 passengers as well as some vehicles. The distance between the ports is only 100 nautical miles, so it's a fairly leisurely journey in either direction. The price of course varies on your room type and whether you have a vehicle. At the time I made this video, one-way passenger fares per person started at 9,000 yen, or about $60 for a space in the most basic second-class dorm rooms with futons only. The next step is 12,000 yen, or about $80 for a smaller first-class cabin, sleeping up to 4 with either bunks or futons depending on the style of room that you book. And finally, the luxury option costing 16,000 to 20,000 yen, or about $100 to $130 for a private suite sleeping 1 or 2 with its own bathroom. Again, that's priced per person. There's progressively cheaper fares for children, toddlers and then infants, while under 1-year-olds can travel for free. You can also bring a car or even a camper van with the price based on the weight. You can book in advance on the Camellia Line website or via third-party agents, or simply turn up and buy at the ticket office, which we did in the Busan ferry terminal. Obviously, if you're after a specific room type, then booking ahead is recommended, especially during holidays. We travelled in August. My family of 4 were going for the cheapest dorm room, for which there was plenty of availability on the day. Read into that what you may. The ferry terminal has a couple of shops where you can buy snacks for your journey, which is going to be cheaper than buying on board, although it'll be even cheaper if you buy in Busan itself. Cup noodles are a wise choice for budget diners as there's free boiling water on board. After passport checks, you can proceed to board through a series of long corridors. It was busy with some short queuing at times, but we were all on the ship before too long. There's 3 main passenger decks on the new Camellia, numbered 3, 4 and 5. Deck 3 is where you'll find the main restaurant, games and karaoke rooms, optional hot onsen spa baths, and all of the second-class dorms, keeping us cheapskates away from the higher fare-paying travellers on decks 4 and 5, although you are free to wander around. As we headed to our dorm, I noticed the others were generally occupied by either other families, or single genders, or certain age groups. We were staying in room 301 at the bow or front end of the ship, and looking at the map, mercifully distant from the karaoke room. When we arrived, there were 11 futons on the floor, 5 on one side and 6 on the other. Another family of 3 had already taken 3 on one side, so we set up 4 on the other. No other people ended up arriving, so there were 7 of us in total sharing this room. The dorm room is pretty basic, but certainly functional, with compartments at the entrance for footwear, larger open cupboards for backpacks and cases, and hangers above each futon. Our room at the front of the boat also had a pair of windows facing forwards, although most of the journey is going to be in darkness. In one corner there's a hospital-style curtain that can be pulled closed to provide a semi-private changing area, and we also found a couple of AC sockets for charging. Meanwhile, there's large shared bathrooms on each deck. Fancy greater luxury? Of course you do. As we explored the next day, I took a peek into one of the unused first-class rooms on deck 5. This is one of the Japanese-style rooms with futons for sleeping up to 4 and a private sink. Again though, you're welcome to use the lounge or other public areas on any deck. The real action though is on Deck 3, where a large section is devoted to the restaurant, with a shop and vending machines outside. They sell their own meals in the restaurant, but certainly seemed happy to accommodate anyone who'd brought their own food, even helping to dispose of rubbish afterwards. There should also be hot water available, either here or in the pantry room, and that's where you'll also find a tap for drinking water. After you've eaten, you can entertain yourself in the games room, rent a karaoke room, or even enjoy an onsen and single-sex bathrooms, again with an additional fee. Or why not head outside for a view of Busan at night, departing into the distance as you pass under the harbour bridge. From here outwards though, it does get pretty dark with little to see as South Korea recedes into the night. In fact, it's lights out at 10:30 PM, so you'll probably want to be heading back to your room by then, especially since your room doesn't actually have a light switch, so those lights are going to go off automatically. Nor any AC controls either, but the temperature was comfortable. As for my sleep, well, not amazing, as I could feel the vibrations of the ship's engines for the first few hours, but then this and the background noise will mask any snorers nearby, and for the remainder of the journey the ship was pretty peaceful, presumably as it had already pretty much reached its destination. Confirming this, a long and rather loud horn sound woke us at about 5 AM as the ship dropped anchor, then the lights were automatically turned back on at 5:30 AM. We popped back onto the deck to see the port of Hakata, Japan. Now the ship's restaurant doesn't start serving until 6:30 AM, but there were already lots of people seated there, so you may want to get there a bit earlier. You'll also see a queue of suitcases holding a place in line for their owners waiting to depart, something I'd never seen before until visiting South Korea. That said, even if you're at the back of the line, it's not much different to disembarking a large plane in terms of numbers. You'll be out soon enough. Hakata is the name of the port, while the city itself is called Fukuoka. It's a roughly 10-minute drive or 1-hour walk to the train station in the centre of town, so since we arrived so early we just wandered in. If you're feeling peckish or thirsty before any of the cafes or restaurants open though, just head to one of the 3 main convenience stores on almost every Japanese street. There's 7-Eleven, Family Mart and Lawson. We stayed one night in Fukuoka at the excellent Montan Hakata hostel close to the main railway station, and I've got a separate video all about our room there. From the town it's also a short train ride to visit Nanzo-in Temple to see the giant reclining bronze Buddha. Fukuoka is a really fun city to visit and very well connected too at the start of the Sanyo Shinkansen line. This will speed you to Hiroshima, Osaka, Kyoto and Tokyo, and if your timing is right you could be doing so on the Hello Kitty bullet train at 7:04 AM, a perfect meeting of cutting edge technology and Japanese cuteness. And if you're interested in taking this train, I've also got a separate video about that too. Ultimately the ferry proved to be an effective and affordable way to connect a trip between South Korea and Japan, while also encouraging me to explore parts of both countries that I may not have included on a normal itinerary. Sure, I may not have had the best night's sleep, but then I don't on trains or planes either, so your mileage will vary. The dorm room we slept in though was certainly clean and I felt safe all around the boat. I'd definitely consider taking it again, and I think it's a great option whether you're travelling solo, as a couple, a family or a group of friends. Let me know what you think, especially if you've taken this ferry or are considering it for a future trip. Please do also check out some of my other travel tips videos here. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.